I know a lot of us, we stuck. We stuck in a season. We stuck in grief. We stuck in pain. We stuck in just average. We just stuck in the day-to-day. And there's some things that we need to move on to. And the thing that I really want you to think about, and I want to just talk about today, is just like moving on to a better you. Moving on to the greatest you, moving on to your peace, moving on to the life that you deserve. And this is what I know is true for me in my life. And I believe, a lot of times when it comes to moving on, we're always, let me say this, it's hard to move on when you have programmed yourself to focus on what you don't have, y'all. So many of us, and even myself at times, man, we're so damn talented at this. We're so talented at focusing on what we don't have, right? When we talk and when we speak, our language is always about what we don't have. If I had this, my life would be better. If I had a relationship, I'll be happier. And we tie these things of the world to our best self. And yes, sometimes that can be true. But I do know this is true, that you don't have to have those things in your life to experience a life of peace, to experience a life of joy, to experience a life of fulfillment. And most of us, we stay stuck in a season. We stay stuck in a chapter. We stay stuck in a season that was meant to build us, and we stay there. It's because we only move when we have confirmation. We only move when we can see external validation to say this is right. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you don't operate in faith, you will never move on with your life. You will never move on with your life, because a lot of us, we want to see it to believe it. We know that's not true. It's very rare that you will actually see it to believe it. And this is what I thought about today in the gym, because when I was going through my injury, and my injury is very hard this year, I'm still recovering from it. I'm not 100%, about probably 50%. I really don't have two legs. I have two legs, but I don't have, I probably have 30% power in my torn Achilles leg. And one of the things that I had to come to grips with, because I couldn't move on from the fact that my life was changing. I couldn't move on from the fact that this next year will look very different for me. I couldn't move on from the fact that, man, I'm not this, strong person anymore. Right? All the stories I was telling myself. And the thing that changed it for me was, Trent, you are focusing on what you don't have, that you are missing what's truly present in your life. You're focusing on what you don't have, that you're missing everything that you do have. And a lot of us, that's where we're at, right? We're so damn good at focusing on what we don't have. I don't have the relationship. I don't have the job. I don't have the platform. I don't have the support. I don't have these things. And though those things may be true, there's things that you do have. You do have God. Let's talk about that for a moment. And some people might disagree with me, but I want to ask you, what's the God of your life? And for me as a believer, right, it's Christ. But there was times in my life where I wasn't acting like that. Limitations was the God of my life, because those were the things that were God in my life. Those were the things that were power in my life. People's opinions and criticism was the God of my life. I was praising my struggle. Every time I talked about something, it was my struggle. It was feel sorry for me. Even though I believed that God had something better for me. I thought I believed, but I really didn't, because I wasn't walking out that belief. And so many of us, just being real with you, you have prioritized your limitations. You have prioritized your struggle. You have prioritized other people's opinions. You have prioritized the criticism. You have prioritized your pain. You have prioritized all these things, and it's keeping you in the same place. Like, if we truly believe that God got us, if we truly believe that God is the God of our life, if we truly believe he has a plan to prosper us, he has a plan to take us further, if we truly believe that it's been written, if we truly believe that nothing can stop what God has planned for us, then we would be operating different. Let's be real. Yeah, you might have lost a lot, but you still got a lot. You might have lost something, but you didn't lose everything. And I know it's easier said than done, but it's hard to move forward. It's hard to move on when all we do is focus on what we don't have. And we don't use and we miss out on what's truly present in our life. So for me, I can focus on, man, I don't have two good legs. I can't run anymore. I can't operate like I want to operate. When my kids is acting bad, I'm trying to get them. I can't chase them around the house. You know, I can't do these things anymore. And so I said, dang, I'm so focused on what I don't have. Trent, what do you have? You got one good leg. You got a mind. You got a body. There's some things that you can still do. There's people that are worse off physically that's still doing more than you. So stop using the excuse. And I honored what I had. I honored that limitation. And I made that limitation elevate my life. I allowed that limitation and struggle to teach me things that I wouldn't have been taught if it didn't happen to me. And so I literally started to use everything that I had. And I'm going to tell you what happened. It opened my life up to more. It opened my life up to more. Now, some of y'all might get sensitive when I say this, but I'm going to be real to you. You know, even in my times where I was struggling financially, living check to check, I honored that because I knew it could be worse. Because a lot of us, we praying for a bigger blessing, which is great. But we praying for a bigger blessing financially, spiritually, all these things. But yet we don't honor the finances that we have. Right? Some of us are praying to be millionaires, but we're not honoring the money that we do have. So how can we be blessed with more when we don't appreciate what we have in our life? So my thing for you, and I want to share this with you, and I just want to come on live real quick and just talk to your heart for a moment, is like, start thinking about the tools that you do have. Right? You might not have a lot of tools to use in your life that other people have. Man, I don't have this. I don't have that. Trent, I don't have this. I don't have that. Cool, you don't have it, but what's the tools that you have right now to build your life? You might not have the expensive power drill to build your life, but you might got a hammer, right? You might got your hands. Yeah, it might not be as effective as that thing, but maybe you're not ready to handle that yet. And you're in a season where you're being prepared for more, but we don't move on to more if we never really operate in everything that we do have, y'all. So I wanted to share that with y'all because some of you are you want to move on, but it's hard for you to move on because you're not focused on what you're moving on to. You're not focused on what you're moving on to. You're focused on what you're moving on from. You're focused on how this person treated you. You focus on revenge. You focus on paying that person back. You focus on, the past. And that's why a lot of us, we stay there. We stay there. And the worst way to live life, man, is allowing something that's no longer a part of your life to continue to control your life. I'm going to say that again and be straight up with you. The worst way I feel personally to live life, because I've been here, is allowing something or someone that is no longer a part of your life to control your life. And some of y'all might be in your feelings, Trent, they ain't controlling my life. They ain't doing this or that. If you can't trust nobody because of them, they're controlling your life. If you don't believe that there's good in the world because of a situation that happened to you, that situation is controlling your life. If you became the pain that you hated that they gave you, that situation is controlling your life. You have to free yourself from it. So the question that I would ask myself if I was you, how can I appreciate and how can I use more of what I do have? Because when you operate in that, it opens your life up to more. It opens your life up to more. You might not have everything, but you got something. In my journey, some of y'all see me, as this, speaker across the world. You see all these people watch my videos and things like that. But I got to share this with you. And I hope this impacts somebody. So I don't know who it's for, but it's on my heart. So I want to share this with you as we leave today. When I first started out, I was that guy, right? I was so focused on what I didn't have, man. I was literally prioritizing my limitations. I was prioritizing, the things that didn't serve my life. I was prioritizing the things that make me feel good about doing nothing. I was prioritizing excuses, right? And those things that I was prioritizing sounded kind of like this. I would say, man, well, I don't have a big homie. I don't have a relationship that will open up doors for me. So this is why I'm at where I'm at. Oh, I don't have a production team. I don't have a big team. I don't have the nice cameras. I don't have the audience. I don't have people showing up to support me. So this is why I'm at where I'm at. And those things were true. But what it was doing, what it was doing, it was making me be okay with staying in a place that I knew my life wasn't supposed to be at. I was focusing on everything I didn't have. And it made me feel okay with keeping my life in the same place. Because as long as I have those excuses, I can tell people, hey, this is why I'm not at where I'm at. This person did me wrong. My business partner did me wrong, or nobody supported me and this or that, or, I didn't have an opportunity to speak anywhere. Nobody brought me in to speak. And so I said, yeah, that can be the story for the rest of my life. But if I want to move on, if I want to move forward, if I want to grow, then I said, Trent, I talk to myself like this, Trent, those are everything you don't have. You don't have a budget to run ads and marketing, all these other people. You don't have that. What do you have, Trent? I said, one, I got God. I said, two, I got a mission. And I said, three, it didn't sound like this. I said, I got a voice. And something in my soul said, bro, that's all you need. You honestly got everything that you need. But you're so focused. Oh, man. I hope that y'all get this. You're so focused on what's missing. You're losing sight of what's present. That's deep. When we focus on what's missing, we lose sight of what's present. Some of us, we're searching for all these things that we're missing the most powerful thing that's right in front of your face. I was focused, man, I don't have a network. I don't have a relationship to get me on the news. But then something said, you got a cell phone. Don't you got a few followers on Facebook? 100, 200 people? It's a lot of people. Focus on what you do have. And when I focused on what I did have, I started to use my voice anywhere I could. I went on street corners. I went to homeless shelters. I went to women's shelters. I went to football teams. I went to prisons. Anywhere I could use my voice because I had everything. I had God, I had a mission, and I had a voice. And what I realized, when I started to use everything that God blessed me with, my life was then rewarded with more over time. I think I talked about this last night, and I want to share this again. Yesterday, I was out to eat with my team, and I have it on video, so I'll show y'all maybe one day. And I was just talking to my team. I said, man, you remember when I just used to just randomly just go places and just speak? You know what I mean? And they're like, yeah. I was like, man, I want to do that again. And my team said, do it now. And it caught me off guard. I was like, nah, I can't do it now. And I caught myself negotiating with myself. I was like, I'm not ready. I was focused on what I didn't have. But then it hit me. What do you have, Trent? Got God. I got a mission. I got a voice. These people that worked at this restaurant, they didn't know me. They know who I was. And I walked up to them and said, hey, can I just speak to your heart for a little bit? And I asked them questions. And one guy said, man, I want to be an author. I said, man, I'm an author. One guy said, man, I just want to be the best. And this is, oh my gosh, I'm just getting this too. Gosh. One guy said, man, I just want to live. Gosh, I'm getting emotional on this because I didn't realize this until this moment, how much alignment that this was, man. One guy said, I just want to be the best I can be, mind, body, and soul. And why that is so powerful, y'all, for y'all that have been a part of rehab time, you know that's the mission. Mind, body, and soul to rehab your life. That's why I started this. And I've spoken today life for like 5 minutes. I share that to share with you that some of you are waiting for the perfect situation, the perfect circumstances, what looks pretty on social media to start. When all you need, man, is God, a mission, and a voice. And I'm not saying you have to be a speaker or whatever it is, but there's more for your life. There's more to your story. And I know a lot of us have lost things that we can't get back, that we miss. Maybe it's grief that you're trying to move on from. I know how hard that is, y'all. But for me, I don't focus on what's no longer here. I focus on what's still here. So yes, my mother is no longer here physically. I stopped searching for where she left me physically, because she will always be here, because she left a lot of things in me and not necessarily for me. What I mean by that, I stopped searching for the physical things that she left for me, and I started to realize what she left in me. I stopped focusing on her not being here, and I started focusing on her being here. And in this moment, you guys are getting a part of Aqua Shelton. Who I am today is her. So every time I open my mouth, every time I speak, every time I make a podcast, every time I help a person, every time I open my eyes, she's alive. Because what she put in me and what she built in me is now being multiplied. So many seeds. And that's why I always say, your life is not multiplied, y'all, through possessions. Your life is multiplied through purpose. My mother had a purpose, and she served her damn purpose well. Some of y'all will never know Aqua Shelton, never know what she stood for. But I'm a part of Aqua, so you know what she stood for, because you guys know me. And I want you to think about that. It's not the possessions. Possessions die when you die. But it's the purpose that lives on. So a lot of us, we're focusing on what we don't have possession-wise. And I get it. Now, we want nice things and stuff like that. I understand that. But we're focusing on what we don't have possession-wise, and we're missing what we do have, which is a purpose. And I believe every soul is not called here to have just possessions and that's it. But every soul was created in purpose, with purpose, and for a purpose. And how we feel most alive in our life, y'all, is when we live in our purpose. And that's so simple. We make purpose so hard. We think it's some magical thing. We think it's some grand thing. Purpose is you. Every time you walk into your job, it's purpose. Every time that you live your life, it's purpose. Every time you help somebody, it's purpose. Every time you don't quit, it's purpose. You are purpose. You don't need a platform to realize that. You don't need possessions to realize that. You don't need to please perceptions to realize that. You know, when I leave this earth, people are going to talk about my possessions. They're going to talk about my purpose. So as we wrap this up, stop focusing on what you don't have, man, and start using everything that you do have. That's the best way to honor God, and it's the best way to open your life up to more. That's what I believe. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Listen to today's podcast. It's a lot more passionate than this moment. You know, the energy is definitely shifted on the podcast, but listen to it, because there's some things that need to come to an end so the life that you deserve can begin. And that podcast will help you do that. Podcast episode 157. You go to trentshelton.com or any way you listen to podcasts, or just click the link below. It'll open up an app if you have Apple, Spotify, Google. So thanks for the stars. Thanks for the support, y'all. And thanks for showing up for me. I really appreciate y'all. You guys don't know what you do for me. I know you say I do a lot for you, but you just don't know what you do for me. And I honor that, and I appreciate that. And I appreciate you. I'll talk to you soon.